Now, of course, any proper ritual has to be followed by feeding the holy men, right? So after their little make-believe ceremony, Krishna and his friends march to the village and formally invite every single Brahmin family to a giant feast at his house, a feast that his mother had absolutely no idea was happening.
And this wasn't a one-time thing. It became his new favorite prank. He'd find any holy man or pilgrim wandering by and tell them, "Oh, my mother Yashoda is waiting for you. She's prepared this magnificent feast." He would send somewhere between 150 and 200 uninvited guests to his home for dinner, every single day. Can you even imagine?
Okay, so eventually things just boiled over. The butter heists, the kitchen sabotage, the hundreds of uninvited dinner guests, the entire village was at its wit's end. So they get organized. They form a delegation and march right over to Yashoda's house to lay out all their formal complaints.
And the complaints were just wild. One person accused him of complete and utter sacrilege, claiming that in the middle of a sacred puja, Krishna had swapped out the idol of the deity with 2 live puppies he'd found wandering around.
Another Gopi had an even more personal and frankly hilarious complaint. She said Krishna snuck into her bedroom in the middle of the night and tied her long hair to her husband's beard, so when they woke up, you can imagine the chaos and the pain. It apparently completely ruined her husband's birthday.
So, faced with this mountain of evidence, you'd think Krishna would be in some serious trouble, right? Wrong. Instead of confessing, he does something absolutely brilliant. He completely flips the script.
He starts his defense with these huge crocodile tears, painting himself as the poor, innocent victim in all this. He's like, "I'm just a little boy. I'm out all day in the hot sun herding cows. And then, how could I possibly reach your high shelves? I'm too small." He even claimed the Gopis were framing him, that they were the ones smearing butter on his face just to call him a thief. The audacity.
And then, seeing his mother start to waver, Krishna delivers the final blow, his master stroke. He throws down his little herding stick and blanket and declares, "Fine, take it all back. I'm leaving home to become a hermit in the forest." And that was it. That's all it took. It completely broke his mother's heart, and just like that, everything was forgiven.
So after all of these stories of chaos, trickery, and, well, property damage, you have to ask, what's the point? Why are these pranks celebrated as sacred stories? Well, it all boils down to this really beautiful and central concept in Hindu thought.
And that concept is Leela, which basically translates to divine play. The whole idea is that the universe itself is an expression of God's creative joy. So Krishna's actions, they aren't seen as sins or mistakes. They're a form of play. It's a way for the divine to interact with the world in a way that's real, relatable, and just full of joy.
And this is where we get the final, beautiful twist in this whole story. See, the villagers, they knew exactly who Krishna was. They weren't really angry. Their complaints were just an excuse to see him, to talk to his mother, to bring that divine energy into their everyday lives. Complaining about him was their own special way of playing along, of praying to him, and making sure he would always be a part of their world.
And it really leaves you with a fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? What if the divine isn't meant to be put on a pedestal and feared?